the Eternal City, once home to 2 million people.
Emperor Justinian was born Flavius Petrus Sabatius in the year 482 CE in the humble village of Tauresium, located in the Roman province of Dardania, which is modern-day North Macedonia. His early life was modest and tightly woven into the fabric of a rural setting. His mother, Vigilantia, was a sister to Justin I, a future emperor who would pave the way for Justinian's remarkable ascent to power. His father's identity remains shrouded in ambiguity, although some records suggest he was a peasant farmer, indicating the young Justinian was not born into the circles of privilege but rather emerged from the rough soil of obscurity. As a young boy, Justinian's education was heavily influenced by his uncle Justin, who rose through the ranks of the imperial guard due to his military prowess and political acumen. Justin brought the adolescent Justinian to Constantinople, where he received an education steeped in classical learning. Mastery of Greek and Latin allowed him to delve into the works of philosophers and legal scholars, planting the seeds for his lifelong preoccupation with the law and governance. His rise was swift when his uncle, Justin I, became emperor in 518 CE. Justinian quickly gained favor as an adept political mind, becoming consul in 521 and patricius thereafter, by 527. Upon Justin's death, Justinian was crowned emperor of the Byzantine Empire. Yet his reign was far from an unblemished saga of triumph. His political vision, often described as audacious and unyielding, encompassed sweeping reforms, monumental construction projects, and relentless military campaigns, each laced with its share of controversy. Justinian's most famed legislative feat was the Corpus Juris Civilis, or the body of civil law, a meticulous codification of Roman legal principles that endured as a cornerstone of Western jurisprudence. This effort, spearheaded by his chief jurist, Tribonian, was riddled with accusations of bribery and corruption. Tribonian himself was said to have accepted bribes in exchange for favorable interpretations of the law, leading to skepticism about the purity of these reforms. It was also whispered among the Byzantine aristocracy that Justinian's own hands were not clean. Ambitious and often ruthless, he was not above manipulating the legal apparatus to crush dissent or silence opposition. Justin's ascent to power was marked by his marriage to Theodora, a woman whose presence at the imperial court sparked controversy. Born into the lower class, Theodora was the daughter of a bear trainer for the Hippodrome of Constantinople, and her mother was a performer. Theodora's early life in the entertainment sector, where she was likely a mime and dancer, added fuel to the fire of courtly scandal. Some chroniclers, notably Procopius in his Secret History, accused her of licentious behavior and labeled her a harlot, a narrative that only partially obscures her sharp intellect and political acumen. The couple's dynamic was both a boon and a bane. Theodora wielded significant influence, often sitting as an equal to Justinian in matters of state, a rare power balance in a deeply patriarchal era. She is credited with pressing for social policies that improved the rights of women, including protections against forced prostitution and more equitable divorce laws. Yet, her unrelenting ambition and confrontational style left a trail of powerful enemies. Some sources even suggest that Justinian's harsh treatment of dissenting voices was a direct result of her influence. Theodora was known to have no tolerance for disloyalty, employing secret informants and plots to undermine potential rivals. In terms of foreign policy, Justinian's reign was marked by his quest to restore the former glory of the Roman Empire. This vision came to life through the military campaigns led by his most trusted general, Belisarius. Justinian's campaigns in North Africa, Italy, and Spain were initially successful, bringing temporary expansion and grandeur. The Vandal kingdom in North Africa was overthrown with stunning efficiency, as was the Ostrogothic kingdom in Italy, which yielded the Jewel of Rome back to Byzantine rule. However, these conquests were not without their costs. The wars bled the treasury dry and stretched the empire's resources perilously thin, leading to discontent and, at times, open rebellion. Domestically, one of the most infamous events of Justinian's rule was the Nika riots of 532 CE. What began as a conflict between the chariot racing factions, the Blues and the Greens, escalated into a full-scale uprising that left much of Constantinople in flames. Rioters, spurred by grievances over taxes and corruption, called for Justinian's overthrow. Terrified and on the verge of fleeing the capital, he was bolstered by Theodora's resolute refusal to retreat. Her words, "Royalty is a fine burial shroud," underscored her belief that death was preferable to abdication. Galvanized, Justinian ordered Belisarius and other loyal generals to suppress the revolt with brutal force, resulting in the deaths of an estimated 30,000 civilians within the Hippodrome. A significant legacy of Justinian's reign is the Hagia Sophia, an architectural marvel erected following the Nika riots. Built in just 5 years, it showcased the blend of artistic splendor and advanced engineering. The Great Dome, towering over the city, was said to be so awe-inspiring that Justinian exclaimed upon its completion, "Solomon, I have outdone thee." However, this monumental project also strained the empire's coffers and was rumored to have been funded through oppressive taxation schemes that left common citizens destitute. Personal aspects of Justinian's life were equally complex. Accounts of his daily habits suggest that he led an opulent lifestyle, surrounded by courtiers, slaves, and eunuchs who catered to his every need. His palaces boasted intricate mosaics, elaborate fountains, and a level of luxury that underscored his status. Reports mention he owned a vast retinue of servants. And while there is little direct evidence of personal abuse, the sheer scale of servitude under his dominion painted an image of a man far removed from the common people. Despite his Christian faith and significant contributions to the Orthodox Church, Justinian's relationship with religious leaders was not without contention. He was a staunch defender of Christian orthodoxy. Yet his policies led to theological disputes and the persecution of those he deemed heretical, including the Monophysites and pagans. His devoutness was evident in his strict adherence to religious ceremonies. But critics, such as Procopius, hinted that his piety was overshadowed by a thirst for power that bordered on megalomania. Justinian's reign, though illustrious, was not free of moral ambiguity. Theodora's death in 548 CE devastated him. She succumbed to what is believed to have been cancer, an event that marked the beginning of a decline in his vitality. In his later years, he withdrew more into theological pursuits, drafting edicts that attempted to unify Christian doctrine, which only succeeded in deepening schisms within the Church. The emperor's death in 565 CE at the age of 83 marked the end of an era defined by great ambition and relentless pursuit of grandeur. He died in his palace in Constantinople, leaving behind a legacy as divisive as it was impactful. The empire, though momentarily expanded, would soon recede, leaving historians to debate whether Justinian's vision of restoration was worth the cost for some. He was the last Roman emperor in spirit. For others, a ruler whose reach exceeded his grasp, who burdened his people with the weight of his ambition while setting the stage for the empire's eventual decline. Justinian left no children. His heirs were the laws he codified and the grand structures he built, standing as silent witnesses to an era of immense power, deep flaws, and an unquenchable thirst for the restoration of a world that no longer existed.